Okay, here we go. Hi everyone, my name is Isabella, and today I'm bringing you more webtoon recommendations because you can never have enough. But today, I'm going to be talking about some more niche, maybe not so mainstream webtoons that are out there that I have absolutely loved and just devoured entirely. So if you saw my last video, you'll remember this, my super secret notebook, where I hold all of the secret wonders of the world, specifically my favorite webtoons, listed in not so numerical order, just kind of listed. And I wanted to go through more of them because the last video I really only talked about some of the more popular ones that I think if you're a new webtoon user, like those ones are a little easier to get into, to kind of feel out if, you know, the format of how you read webtoons and all that kind of stuff, because I know that that's something that most people aren't used to. But anyway, so these ones are ones that I personally just, I mean, not that I don't love the other ones, because I absolutely love the other ones, but these ones are like more just niche ones that I don't know, I don't really know much about the fandoms of these webtoons. They're just ones that I really personally love and I think that everybody should read. And so I will start with number one. Number one, Atnomen. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is the perfect horror, fantasy, gothic romance novel. So I had actually subscribed to this webtoon a while ago, but I hadn't read it because I peeked at some of the chapters, because I do that sometimes just to see like, oh, what does the art look like, you know, what's the vibe? And I thought, oh, this is too dark. This is gonna be depressing. We're gonna be really moody, and I don't know, like I don't know if I'm in the mental space for that. And you know what? That is my problem, is that I always think I know, and I just don't. You just don't. I mean, I think webtoon is probably the place where don't judge a book by its cover is literally like the biggest advice that I could give you as a webtoon reader, because every story is like not what I expect it to be. I don't think I have ever gone into a webtoon being like, oh, I know what this is gonna be, and then it played out exactly how I thought. Never. I feel like movies, TV shows, sure, I can go into them, I kind of can feel it out. Even sometimes books, but I don't know what it is about webtoons. I don't know. The authors are just amazing. So here is the summary for Atnomen, which I hope I'm saying right. Trapped in a betrothal to a cruel man and a religion that hates her kind, Lena goes searching for an angel and finds salvation in the arms of a monster. Yes, she does! Oh my god. Is it hot in here? Yeah, so for all my witchy poo girls out there, this is right up our alley. It is gothic, dark, but it does manage to have humor, which is so interesting to see it humor and kind of like meme humor, meme culture humor in this art style that is so just impressively gorgeous, but like it's just very literally medieval gothic art style. Again, that really dark color palette, and I was not expecting it to make me laugh so much, and it has made me literally just like bust a gut. It's so interesting to me how this author was able to combine this, you know, this gothic world with like almost meme culture type jokes. It's so funny, and then the characters are like, you know, I was expecting, oh, it's gonna be like darkness. The characters were relatable and fun and young. It's a special one. It is a special webtoon. Like, I really hope that this one gets published as a physical book at some point. I think it's a Canvas story still. It updates every 15 days, which is so, like, even, like, 15 days even seems fast for this story, considering the art. I mean, you have to read it. It's just absolutely stunning. It's just, it is so beautiful. And yes, I do have a crush on Rain. Yeah, I do. What do you want me to do about it? Like, you draw a hot man, monster, gargoyle. You expect me to not fall in love with him? And he has a soft spot for this girl? Like, and like, I don't even mind that his face opens up into like a billion teeth. So you have Lena and you have Rain. Rain is the name of this monster gargoyle demon that she has grown attached to. So her father passes away, leaving her basically an orphan, because her mother also passed away. And the father promises her to one of the priests in the town, who is this awful, hideous, disgusting man, the real monster of the story. And she is, so distressed, rightfully so, about this, that she kind of, she goes to her crying cave, like Milhouse and The Simpsons. She goes to her crying place, which is by this statue of this demon angel thing that she goes and kind of just vents to, and talks to him and tells her all her woes and everything. And little does she know that the whole time he's been listening. And then she finds out that he can actually come to life, and that he has been drawing fan art of them both. Fan art is the PG-13 word for it. And then they, it's about their relationship and how it continues. And the story, I mean, we have gotten deep into like the character stories and their backgrounds and stuff like that, but we haven't gotten, there's still a long way to go. Again, this is a Canvas one, so the creator, that means that she is working with a smaller team and, takes more time to update and stuff, which I appreciate so much. I think that those Webtoons creators can honestly, they can take as long as they need to be able to draw and write the story that they want, because these stories are just, I'm a filmmaker, okay, and I honestly haven't seen anything lately that has captured my attention as much as these Webtoon creators have. And also, I think it's important to note that graphic novels are an art form in itself. Like, this is a small side rant, but I just find it so annoying when people just take a graphic novel or a book, they make a movie out of it and stuff. Like, I understand it in certain circumstances and stuff, but not everything that does well has to be translated to a different art form, it is an art form already. It's just as valuable as a graphic novel as a movie is as a movie. There are different art forms, and so my intention here with being able to speak about my favorite webtoons and reading these graphic novels is to really say, you guys, this is a medium. This is an art medium. This is an entertainment, storytelling medium. And it deserves to have its recognition as it is. And just honoring the source material, it's the graphic novel. This is how it came into existence, and it's a different experience going through and reading these and looking at the art and getting to pay attention to all the detail, than it is to, watch a movie about something, which of course, movies have their own detail and their own everything. I love movies. I am a filmmaker, but I just feel like there's so much I'm learning from reading these graphic novels as not only a filmmaker, as a person. And I said that in my last video, but I will not stop preaching that because it's true. I mean, I'm literally getting into this preaching mode because of a story that I just read about a gargoyle who falls in love with a human girl. I mean, that is the magic of webtoons. Okay, my next favorite, number 2. Children of the Night. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Let me read you the summary. Elizabeth, or Beth, is in an unwanted engagement with Kenneth, an arrogant man whose good looks, and they are good looks, do nothing to improve her opinion of him. She finds solace in a secret friendship with Lawrence, a mysterious man who lives in the manor next door, but is only there at night. As she gets to know both men better, she develops feelings for both of them and soon finds herself with her life on the line, caught in a love triangle between a vampire and a vampire hunter. It's like Pride and Prejudice meets Dracula. It literally is that. But then, like, you know, love triangle thing. It's like, I don't know if any of you have seen Vampire Night, but it's like Vampire Night. Oh my god, you guys, why is the vampire hunter, like, listen, I am such a vampire girl. Like, I love vampires, I love the aesthetic, but I love, like, Dracula vampires. Like, that is, like, it is, like, the nectar of existence to me, is, like, gothic vampire culture. And so reading these kind of, like, vampire novels and stuff, I'm always like, why is the vampire hunter always the hottest? Like, I love vampires, you know, and I think that vampires are hot, but any time that a vampire hunter comes into the picture, I'm like, why are they hotter? I don't know. But this one, basically what I mean to say with that is that Children of the Night, Kenneth, my boy Kenneth, is in no exception to that. He is I mean, need I say any more? This webtoon is really cool because it's been going on for a really long time. I believe the author said that she started drawing it in like 2007, I think it was. And then she, you know, kept going at it, and she's still updating her episodes right now. So it's cool because her art style has changed a lot. I mean, it's still her intention behind all the characters still have their look, but they've definitely changed. They've changed. Especially like Kenneth, his character design, like who he was in the beginning and who he is right now are like two completely different people, which I'm not mad about, because now I actually am in love with Kenneth, and before I was not. But it's interesting because the characters are so messy. They're so, like, they don't... See, I just really appreciate when characters are allowed to have all the flaws and then they have to grow and learn from them. Because it's, I mean, obviously that's just what makes stories interesting, you know? I think a lot of times some webtoons creators will get, like, a lot of times some people will criticize webtoons because they're like, oh, this person is like toxic and stuff, and it's like, it's a story. Like, it's a story. We need to read about what toxic people do and how the story can, as long as they're not like winning in the end, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to have toxic characters, it's okay to have toxic behavior in your stories, because otherwise, like, first of all, that's what makes a story engaging and exciting to read, and two, like, that allows for character development and growth. And with Children of the Night, there's no exception there. I mean, it is all the characters, I love them. I love, listen, I love Kenneth, okay? I may or may not have fan art of him that I have drawn myself, but my boy is still exhibiting some behaviors that are problematic. Like, he is not able to really open up to Beth. There's like kind of like a trust issue thing. It is the noisiest day on the planet. Oh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so Kenneth is exhibiting some, you know, he has there's some communication issues that he's been having, trust issues, just a lot of trauma from his past that he still needs to work through. And the same thing goes for Lawrence, who is the vampire character. I don't trust him right now. I did at the beginning. I was very pro Lawrence, and now I am just absolutely like, stay away, Lawrence. But I don't know, Kenneth has been testing me lately. He has been, I'm teetering between Lawrence and Kenneth. Like, I still don't think that, anyway, you guys don't even know, because like you haven't read it, but you have to read it, and then maybe I'll do a video where we talk about Children of the Night and just like dissect the characters, because they are so interesting and engaging. This one, I would say there isn't as much like, it's not really like a humorous one, but it's still fun. Like, Beth is kind of this younger, you know, she's naive to the ways of the world, and she, you know, is one of those characters who just like, she just hasn't experienced a lot of people in her life. She's not super worldly, but it's actually something that is both like a blessing and a curse for her, because it helps others to break down their walls, and then as a blessing, and then as a curse, it's kind of like, well, you know, she doesn't really pick up on signals and stuff like that. But it's fun. Like, it's fun to see her navigate through the world and navigate through her relationships. She is very like romantic, teenager, idealistic, totally immersed in her fantasy. It's kind of like if you've ever seen Northanger Abbey or read Northanger Abbey, the Jane Austen novel. She is like Catherine Morland. Children of the Night is also another canvas story that is so worthy of our admiration and attention, because again, the author has been drawing this since 2007, coming up with this plot. I mean, it is so inspiring to me as a storyteller, and yeah, I mean, she has been teaching herself. I think I remember reading in one of the Q&A chapters that she's been just practicing drawing for years and years and years, and just now it seems like she's starting to find her style. And it's kind of interesting because it's almost less intricate right now than it was at the beginning. It's like any artist, you know, like you start with learning and painting these like very Baroque kind of scenes, and then you find your own style along the way, and that's kind of what's been happening in Children of the Night. And again, I absolutely love where the art style has gone. It feels like it's also helped the characters take shape, and that's something that I really love in reading these webtoons, is that the more that author is drawing them and like coming up with a story, it's like as they draw, they are able to flesh the characters out. So yeah, it's really interesting and a really good one, and you should definitely read it. Number 3 is called Winged. This is kind of ending up to be sort of a gothic recommendation list. This one isn't gothic romance, but it does kind of have that flair to it and its art style. Maybe that's just me. It probably is just me. But it does, I don't know, it's in the same vein as kind of like the feeling of Children of the Night. It is considered like the genre is heartwarming, the way that it's listed on Canvas right now. It is another Canvas story. It does have just, oh my gosh, the art, you can just see in the eyes of the crow. There's just so much story there, and I'm so excited for Laica Chrose is the name of the author, to continue this story. I know I follow her on Instagram, she recently had a baby. I know she's still working on this story, and it's just like, I don't know, she is doing just such a beautiful job. Let me read you a summary first. One day, a wondrous little dove, sheltered in a gilded cage, encounters a wild, ominous crow, lone survivor of his clan. In a world where human affection or hatred are both cursed, the little dove must find her freedom. It's so, oh my gosh, so it is a very sweet story. It's interesting, she posted like where she got her ideas, and I believe she posted something about Lady and the Tramp, and when I was reading it, I was like, why does this gives me Lady and the Tramp vibes. It's very that. So, you know, you have the dove who's like the lady, the crow who is the tramp, and he kind of is teaching her to live on the wild side, but she was bred as a like show pigeon, I guess, like just to be pretty, and so it's just, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful how the author she draws them like half bird, half people, and sometimes we see the perspective of like a human person, and you see them as a crow and a dove, and then we see them in their own perspective, and they take on these amazing characters, like just personas. It's incredible. There's this owl. I think we all kind of feel a little bit off about Mr. Owlman, but he looks beautiful. That's all I'll say. Like they just have such interesting character styles, and Pidge, which is the name of the little dove, which also is what the tramp calls Lady in Lady and the Tramp, she has the way her dress and her hair, oh my goodness, the use of color. So actually all of these, this is interesting, I'm just realizing, all three of these ones that I've just recommended, they're black and white. They're all black and white, except for in this one, Winged, Pidge has a tinge of just a little bit of pink on her cheeks and on her, like her hands or her feet. And then we have, I think, the owl has like yellow eyes, but these ones are so colorful. Like they're the ones that I think impress me the most, just because of how, maybe it's because these ones are just using such a limited color palette, and it's just insane to see how the authors are able to like depict different emotions and like tension and all that stuff using just like black and white. They are so talented. I think these ones, I would have to say, are the webtoons that have the most beautiful art of all the webtoons that I have mentioned even in my last video. Like these three are the ones. I think Atnomen takes number one, because I mean that's like on a whole nother level, but these ones, they just have, there's so much care and effort and work put into them, and they also are, again, they're canvas ones. So right now those creators, they either have very small teams that are helping them, or they're just literally doing it by themselves. I just don't know. I don't know how they do it. They write these stories that are so beautiful, and they're just masters. They're masters. Anyway, that's just me ranting because I love storytelling. Okay, anyway, back to Winged. The Crow. Again, I'm just gonna leave that right there, because need I say more? These ones also have like the most attractive webtoon boys, I think, are in these canvas stories. Thank you, Canvas. Thank you, authors, you queens, for giving me all of my imagination dream fuel. This one, a little bit newer one. is called It Rains on Precious Days, which is a fairly new webtoon original. I will read the summary. Kyoko always thought she would end up getting married to her long-term boyfriend, Kenichi. However, reality hits her like a ton of bricks when he decides to end their relationship and move to Kyushu without her. At the age of 24, she starts a new life in Tokyo, where she crosses paths with Yoichi at her workplace. His warmth tugs at her heart, and despite their 17-year age gap, she falls in love with him. However, fate has other plans, and when 2 other men shake up her love life, she must make the biggest decision of her life. There's 2 other men? I have not read the summary of this. I've only been reading the... Damn, there's 2 other men that need to enter the picture. Enter the chat? Okay. So it's interesting because, it's very soft, this webtoon. It's just... like, it has a lot of people in the comments are saying, like, oh, this feels very Studio Ghibli and stuff like that. I think it's doing a really good job right now. It's very polite, I will say. I mean, I don't want to speak anything about, like, age gap things, because, like, that, people have different experiences with that, and the way that I see this story, panning out, it's very soft. It's kind of melancholy. It's very, how could I say? It's like, it feels like cotton or something, like cotton balls. Does that make sense? Like, it just feels very light and soft, and there's no malice in it, you know? It's just kind of like, everyone's very soft and sweet. I don't know where the story is gonna go. I don't know where the author is taking us. I mean, I'm always surprised by how much depth these stories have, but at least right now, it's like the characters are very, you know, there's good intentions all around, and it seems like a story that it kind of feels like, the way it's told is it kind of feels like a dream, or a daydream or something. Kind of like it's fuzzy. You're looking back on something and it was good, but it's kind of like there's like the vignette around it, like kind of like a white vignette, you know? Cotton balls and daydreams is what I would say this one feels like. I'm really excited to continue reading it. It's always very feel good and always very like grounded. It's a very grounded characters, and I think that it's very realistic in terms of a 24-year-old coming to a new city, starting a new life after being in like a very intense relationship that she just got out of. You know, she has parts of herself that are very wise, but she kind of doesn't know how wise she is, and she's still kind of trying to be comfortable in her own skin, trying to be comfortable with the fact that she's, you know, that she's alone, like this is a new place. She has to kind of trust herself again after coming out of a very intense long-term relationship. So there's a lot of good character growth I can see that is going to happen in the future episodes. So yeah, I think that those are my, I guess I would say, niche webtoon recommendations. They're ones that I feel like they're a little more unassuming, I think, because of the fact that they are, most of them, canvas stories, so they're not as fleshed out as I know that they're going to be. So I guess that, you know, that just adds to the intrigue, because of how it just beautifully written and beautifully drawn they are. I really recommend those. I think that each one of them has very interesting character with like a different, just a lot of different dynamics in all of these. And personally, I don't know, I learned so much from reading these stories and from these characters, these girls, because I think that a lot of the authors are, you know, like in their 20s, mid-20s maybe, just just going through a lot of the things that we're all going through right now, except that they are able to kind of like, or they've already gone through it, but they're just able to create these stories that take place in like fantastical worlds, but they deal with very human, real, in the moment right now, like mid-20s crisis problems and situations and stuff like that. So even though it is a story about a gargoyle coming to life, like there's real life situations in real life. You know, I can see myself in Lena. I can see myself in Pidge and the girl from this one, It Rains on Precious Days. I can see myself in all of them. And so, you know, you watch them go through all of these situations, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like you get a chance to maybe try things again or do things over. And it's very healing. For me, reading these things is very healing. And that's why I'm sharing my favorites with you. And I would love to hear some of your favorite, like, more niche stories, any Canvas stories that you guys have been reading, anything that you think that I would like, please. I'm looking for more recommendations, anything based off of any of the stuff that I've been talking about lately. I would love to hear your recommendations, please, because I'm almost done binging at Atnomen. I made myself, like, pause last night, and so tonight I'm gonna read it again, because it's, oh my gosh, you have to read Atnomen at night. It's such a nighttime vibe. Children of the Night, I read that one with, like, dark fantasy music playing in the background. Winged, I like to read kind of like this time of day, sort of in the sunshine when the sun's going down. It's kind of, because it's like warm and cute, but it's very precious. It's very like a crystal, you know? That one feels like, I don't know, it's precious. You have to be careful with it. Maybe it's just with Pidge, but it's just like, you can tell the author, Laica, I believe her name, Laica Chrose, you can tell how she draws it almost like they're like crystal figurines or something. Like, that's how careful she is with her story and how precise and detailed she is with, I don't know, everything that she intentionally puts onto the panel. Yeah. And then It Rains on Precious Days is one that I think I read when you read that, like, on a cloudy day, or when, I don't know, you don't have much going on. Yeah, because it just hits. You have to find your time that you read certain web comics, because it'll hit better when you're in that environment or zone or mood. I strongly suggest having, like, playlists that go with the different genres that you're reading, or times of day that you know you're gonna read it, and stick to it, because trust me, sometimes if you read it when you're out and about, it just, like, it won't permeate and, like, sink in as well as when you are ready to give it your full attention. So that's just my advice. My 2 cents. And yeah, so thank you guys again for watching another video where I ramble about my favorite webtoons, because that's what I love to do anyway. If I wasn't rambling to you, I would just be rambling through text, through voice messages to all my friends, like, oh, actually I did, you know what? I'm not even kidding. Last night, I was just like, this is my man now. This is him. I am absolutely in love. Screenshots galore. You know? What you gonna do? That's my entire... Are you kidding? My entire iPhoto library is literally just screenshots of different webtoons. They're my children. They're more precious to me than pictures of myself or anybody that I know. besides my dog. But yeah. Anyway, tell me if you guys read any of the ones that I've recommended. Tell me what you think. Please, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to be able to talk and share our love for these stories. That is what this page is for, is just to share love for fiction. So thank you so much again for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. And yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy reading. Bye.